Alright guys, so today I am releasing my full novice program, and I'm really excited about this because I've been working on this a while, and it's all based on my experience with clients, my own training, and just my research that I've done the past decade, alright, since I started training. And, I'm referring to guys like Brad Schoenfeld and Brett Contreras, Eric Helms, Dr. Mike Israetel, great YouTubers like Omar Esoff, Athlean X, Jeff Nippard, other guys like Alan Thrall and James Linker from Shredded Sports Science. Brian Alsrew is actually probably one of my favorite YouTubers out there. And these are just some of many science-based individuals that I've just researched and looked up to the past decade. So with that being said, I have a lot of confidence in this program. Now, before starting this program, or any program for that matter, you guys need to make sure your overall recovery is on point, okay? This includes, obviously, plenty of sleep, good hydration, making sure you're not lacking in electrolytes, your sodium, your chloride, your potassium, all that stuff, magnesium. And then you guys need to be in a caloric surplus, okay? Because that's going to be the main thing. You need to accept the fact that you're going to be gaining weight, mostly muscle, okay? So being in a 10% to 20% caloric surplus will be optimal. In addition, you need all your external stressors to be under control, and this includes relationship problems, family problems, work issues, whatever you got going on. That needs to be, under control. You guys need to make sure you're not stressing yourself out, or else you're just going to start feeling fatigued all the time and lethargic, and it will carry to your workouts. Like I said before, you guys should be able to go 3 days a week, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and try to stay consistent with the times that you get to the gym. Next, your mobility has to be very good, okay? You need to be able to do a full range of motion on all the movements, and you can't be lacking mobility in all your joints, especially, your hips, your shoulders, because that is really going to affect your squats, your presses. You won't be able to get full range of motion on your rows, so mobility has to be in check. Now, this is kind of obvious, but I have to say, if you're lacking equipment or you suffer from past injuries and you're not able to do some of the movements, then this is obviously going to affect the progression and the effectiveness of the overall program. That said, you guys need to make sure you are executing these exercises through a full range of motion in the correct way, okay? And you guys need to make sure you've done your research, okay? It's obviously for novices, so going into the program, make sure you have looked up tutorials on how to do each exercise properly. And the last point I'm going to make before going into the actual workouts is that this program should last around 6 to 9 months on average, okay? So you guys need to milk these beginner gains as long as you can. And until you can't add weight or a rep to the bar every workout, you are still a beginner until you hit that plateau. All right, now that we got through that part, let's get into the workouts. So workout A and workout B, you're going to have an intensity day and a volume day. And like I said before, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You're going to do workout A, then B, then A, and then the next week's going to be B, A, B, and just keep rotating. You could see that there's an intensity workout, which is moderate intensity, and then a volume workout, okay? And the intensity rep ranges are 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps of an RPE of 75% for the compounds. And make sure you guys stick around because I have an RPE page after this page. And then for the volume workout, everything is around 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, okay, at 65%. The only mixing of rep ranges that I have on here are with the accessory movements on the intensity day. And from my personal experience and from just working with clients, I've noticed that just the long head does not get hit significantly, and I've noticed that the triceps can handle a good amount of work. So that's why I like to throw in some type of overhead extension to get the long head of the tricep or incline skull crushers. And of course, I've included band face pulls or cable face pulls, whatever you prefer. And this is just to get the rear delts, upper back muscles, rotator cuffs, and even the biceps a little bit more work. And as you can see, I've included multiple options in the exercise selection. So if you don't have the strength to do a high bar squat, and I say strength, I'm not talking about mobility. If you don't have the mobility, you need to get that figured out first, or, posture or whatever. But if you don't have the strength to do a high bar squat, then you do a front squat or a goblet squat, which is basically the same thing but with a dumbbell. If you can't do either of them, then you start off with a box squat. So I'm not going to waste your guys' time and talk about the compound movements. I have a squat, a hip hinge, vertical press, vertical pull, horizontal press, horizontal pull. I don't think there's really anything to argue there. But I will talk about the accessories I have down and why I have them down. So with the band face pulls, you guys know, I think everyone should know this, but whether you're intermediate, advanced, or beginner, you should be doing some type of face pull. Now, with the skull crushers, personally, in my experience with working with clients, I've noticed that their presses, their bench press and overhead press, they do not progress as quickly as I would want them to. And when I put them on skull crushers and doing some type of overhead extension work to hit the long head a little bit more, I notice it adds a little bit more mass and it gives the triceps a little bit more workload during the week, and it just carries over to the bench and the overhead press a little bit more. It's not going to have direct carryover, obviously, but it's going to add size to those triceps for sure. In workout B, you can see I've included glute bridges or hip thrusts and weighted planks. I don't think I'm going to get any arguments with this one. First off, your glutes are your biggest muscle in your body. You need to have strong glutes for everything, and you want to have a good mind-muscle connection with your glutes, especially when you're doing, overhead press and bench press, okay? Because it's going to help a lot with stability. Plus, it gives the hamstrings a little bit more work, so you don't have to do any sort of leg curl. And then with the weighted planks. Now, I think people are going to criticize me for this, but weighted planks are, I think, essential for novices because novice lifters have very weak core muscles, okay? And when I have them do weighted planks, they're only going for around 30 to 45 seconds, and they're having still around 10 seconds left in the tank. Now, I also tell them to round their back as much as possible and don't slouch. Don't let your lower back cave down. And think about squeezing your glutes because that is going to incorporate your lower abs a lot more, okay? And I want you guys to try that out. Personally, I think weighted planks have good carryover to every single lift, especially your standing lifts and where you're moving your body through space like your pull-ups and your dips, because you have a lot more stability and you just feel less shaky. So yeah, guys, those are the workouts. Now, one last thing I want to say before going to the next slide is that I've only included one set of 5 reps with the deadlifts at 65% RPE simply because they are so taxing, but I definitely think they are essential for a novice lifter because it's going to be good for strength. Not necessarily the best hypertrophy exercise, but it will definitely help with building strength. So moving on to the RPE scale. Now, guys, this is very important when you are picking your weights for your workouts. You need to refer back to this page to pick appropriate weights for the intensity that you're doing. I'm not going to go through all the numbers, but you can see that 65% is a little weird. It should be right around your 10 to 12 rep max. Once you start getting into those higher reps, anything above 8, then a lot of technical stuff come in the way. So like if you have more athleticism or better genetics, then you might be able to get those extra 2 reps. If you have better technique, then you might be able to get those extra 2. But yeah, it's going to kind of be weird once you start getting into the higher reps. A couple other things I want to mention is that you guys are going to be living around 65 to 75% RPE because that's all you need to do. You guys should be leaving at least 2 to 3 reps in the tank on your working sets. And you guys can obviously take as many warm-up sets as you need just to perfect technique and to get a little bit more practice. And finally, this last page is just optional. This is all extra. Or it's for someone that has a unique goal, like I want my traps to stand out. You know, if you want your traps to stand out, then maybe you should be doing some type of barbell shrug. If you want your biceps to stand out and to look huge and, you know, and that's what they're obsessed over, then you should be doing some type of barbell curl. I will say you need to make sure your recovery is on point to add in any sort of extra work, okay? If you're able to handle it, and you built up that work capacity to recover, then yeah, you can probably add in 1 or 2 of these accessories, but don't go past the sets and reps that I have listed. To be completely honest, these accessory movements are a lot more for intermediate lifters and advanced lifters, okay? Late beginners could add them in if they have a unique goal, or if they develop a weakness, which should not happen on this program if everything is executed properly. But if you do so happen to develop a weakness, then it would be appropriate to add in one of these accessory lifts to bring that muscle up. The last and most important thing we're going to talk about is linear periodization, okay? The form of progression. Now, I think linear is the easiest way to track when you're a novice. So, and I don't think there's any need to introduce any new exercises. So basically, let's take high bar squat for example. You're going to do 3 sets of 5 at 75% RPE. Okay, that 75% RPE is going to maintain consistently throughout the next few months. Okay, and so that next workout, so you do 3 sets of 5. The next workout, you try to get a set or 2 or 3 where you get 6 reps in. Okay, so you're trying to get to essentially 3 sets of 6. Then the next time you go to the gym, you try to get a 7th, and then you get 3 sets of 7, and then you get up to 8, 3 sets of 8. Then when you're at 3 sets of 8 at 75% RPE, remember that's always staying consistent, then you move up the weight 5 or 10 pounds, okay, and you're back down to 3 sets of 5. You do that for all your movements, and you're going to progress. That's all that matters. And the same exact principle applies to the volume day as well. So you start 3 sets of 8, you try to add a rep each workout, get up to 3 sets of 9, and so on and so forth. Once you get up to 3 sets of 10, with reps in the tank, staying consistent with your RPE, you go up in weight. That's all it is, guys. Very easy form of progression, very easy to track. So yeah, guys, that is it. That is my full novice program. I'm very proud of this, so I hope you guys can leave me some feedback down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And I'll be coming out with an intermediate program, but I definitely want to wait on that still just because I want to work with more intermediate lifters and I want to just get more experience, okay? So I'm not going to come up with some cookie cutter program and just hand it over and say this will work, all right? I highly believe in this program, and I definitely want to highly believe in the next program I make. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon.